This is the Retirement Solution Podcast with financial advisor Jon Hicks, founder of J. Hagan Capital.
And I'm Heather Branch here with Jon to talk about his ideas on ways you can be working to better prepare for your financial future. RetirementSolutionRadio.com is where you can go to begin the conversation with Jon and his team at J. Hagan Capital. We also have links posted in the show notes, so you can just click there, or again, find us anytime at RetirementSolutionRadio.com. What are the old school toys, the expression where it's like, I'm gonna wind you up and then set you loose? What is that, like an old school little toy? Because I feel like that's what's getting ready to happen. I pull your string and then I just watch you fly.
There were like Matchbox type cars that did that.
Spinning tops.
Ripcord type. Yeah. I had some, what were they? He-Men? And some GI Joes that you could pull that little ripcord in there, and when those Jeeps would fly all over the place.
That's what I'm about to do to you, sir.
Woo!
Are you ready?
Oh boy!
Are you ready?
I am ready.
Now,
hold on. What am I committing to?
This next conversation. I was like, when I read this story, I was like, I cannot wait to talk to Jon Hicks about this. Okay.
Oh boy.
Some people have found a new tax strategy for retirement.
Oh, I love it. I'm all ears.
It's in the way of a moving van.
Okay.
But wait, there's more. Oh boy, I hate to even say the word. The state of wait, are you going to physically react when I say the state of California?
Probably. If I start convulsing, listen, you need to go get someone to come in the studio immediately.
Here's the thing. There are smart people in California. The state of California has lost over 750,000 residents.
Well, those are the smart ones. They've all moved out.
They've left.
So they're not there. They're not residents anymore.
Over the last 3 years, they have left because of the oppressive is the only applicable word, state tax rate, 13.3%. It's the highest in the country.
Absurd.
Population of California is at its lowest number in 8 years. And they are leaving, these residents are leaving for states like Florida, Texas. We've talked about Tennessee a lot here on this radio program because they have no state income tax. Here's the thing. We don't have, fortunately, this burden to bear here in Kentucky.
Sure.
The whole idea of maybe we've talked about moving to escape winter weather, right? We would all love the idea of sunny Florida. But for many people, the idea of picking up and moving far, far away just to escape taxes might feel a little extreme. Still, there are options, easier ones that you work to show people every single day in the office. The idea of working to reduce our future taxes in retirement. For so many people, it is a huge concern. It's obvious why. What does this entail? What do you want people to know? You know,
it's always entertaining to me, right? So, because in the state of Kentucky, we're just so darn close to Tennessee.
Yeah.
And of course, Tennessee has no state tax. So is it a reason to go a few miles down the road? Maybe not. But I have a lot of clients, they like to go down to Dale Hollow Lake. And Dale Hollow, the backside of that sucker, is in Tennessee. And my whole point is, hey, do you guys want a lake house anywhere? They're like, well, yeah, we got one at Lake Barkley, which, of course, is in Kentucky. Yeah. And I'm like, well, that's great. I love that. But have you ever been to Dale Hollow? See my inflection come up because I'm like, oh, are you sure? Because if you have your home paid off and you want a lake house, just go explore is my point. Because if you create a lake house down there that then becomes your domicile, then you won't pay state taxes any longer. So, and there's some other things that trade off, right? So their DMV may cost a little bit more money. The cost of insurance could be more expensive, la, 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 la. Yeah. But when you really break it down over the course of a lifetime, it can be a fortune that you can save, especially when we don't have as many tax breaks when we're retired, right? So one of the things that I try to tell people all the time, hey, while you're still making money, while you're still bringing money in, this may be the best time to do a proper tax design, right? Okay. We're not talking about picking up, getting a U-Haul or two men in a truck and moving, across state lines. Yeah. We're simply talking, does it make sense to consider that, right? Because I have all kinds of clients. They're looking at condos in either Gulf Shores, Alabama or Florida or take your pick. And they're thinking, well, I don't know how much time I'd spend down there. I'm like, well, if you snowbird, and do some other things, you could easily be down there for 4 or 5 months. So how far off would it be just to be, let's say, 6 months in a day, just so that you can have a residence? And of course, then things change, right? Right. Then it's like, well, what is the cost of Florida condominium versus, or a house versus being in Alabama? Because if you're no longer paying state taxes, there's a whole bunch of things that are kind of interesting, right? Right. And of course, I'm not going to get into the deep waters of there are so many countries that have no taxes whatsoever. British Virgin Islands, Caribbean, Singapore, Malaysia. There's all kinds of places if you were so inclined, but we're not going to get exotic today. The point is that how much money can we save? And so, Heather, I know a couple weeks ago we were talking about the Los Angeles Dodgers baseball phenom.
Yep.
Shohei Ohtani.
Yep.
Shohei Ohtani signed one of the biggest baseball contracts in the history of the planet.
I think the biggest.
I think it was.
Yeah.
And for today, right?
Yeah.
Now, I haven't paid attention over the last weekend. It's possible that someone else got more money because I remember when A-Rod signed some psycho deal and it was beat, 2 years later by someone else that I don't even think plays baseball anymore. So he signed a $700 million contract over the next 10 years. Guys, I don't have to tell you, $70 million a year is a lot of money. But where are the Los Angeles Dodgers, Heather? They're in California. And that beautiful state of California that we just talked about. And by gosh, it really is a gorgeous state.
Yes.
I mean, Santa Barbara is absolutely gorgeous.
Most beautiful.
Ojai is maybe one of the most gorgeous places I've ever been in my life. There's parts of Laguna Beach that are very nice. Sacramento, for what it is very interesting and very nice too. And of course, all the vineyards in the Napa region in Sonoma, which I was in this earlier part of this year. They're absolutely gorgeous. It's a shame that all the crazies have caused it to be so expensive. But 13.3%. So very interesting about Shohei Ohtani is that he signed a contract for $700 million, but he has chosen to defer a lot of that income.
Yep.
And he did it because he wants to save taxes. And I have the entire breakdown. I did the actual full tax analysis.
You did.
In Shohei's situation that we would actually do for a client if they say, hey, I don't have $700 million, dude, but hey, how can I save money?
Yeah.
Well, the interesting thing is I broke this down, and what we found is by Shohei deciding to potentially defer this taxes and probably, if he's got very good tax advisors, move out of California before he takes that money.
Yeah.
Heather, he's going to save $93.6 million.
Really?
$93.6 million is what he would have given to the state of California had he actually not done his tax analysis.
Wow.
And people just like him is my guess. A lot of people just like him are those 750,000 people that have chosen to not be there anymore. Right?
Yep.
Because it is oppressive. New Jersey, I get clients all over New Jersey. 11.3 to 11.9% is what they're paying, not including property. No, it's crazy. Salt taxes, state and local taxes are unbelievably expensive in some places. New Jersey is terrible. New York is really bad. LA is the most egregious without question. And then you have some of those other southern states, that have no taxes at all. Texas has no taxes. And of course, a lot of it's coastal. Tennessee, which is not that far away from Kentuckians, right around the corner. Florida, obviously, is what most people consider, but there are really nice places to consider if this is your situation. So the interesting thing was in his situation, that is the lowest hanging fruit. $93 million saved by getting out of the state. Now, some of us, we're like, John, I don't want to move. I don't want to do that. No problem. Guys, there is all kinds of loopholes. And there's really not as many as there used to be, but there are all kinds of ways that we can change our current tax status and we can save a fortune in the long run. You can use some forms of trusts. We can use asset shifting techniques. We can look at using Roth conversion strategies. There are all kinds of ways. Oil and gas drilling programs can do some things. All of these are available if we look for them, right? If we search them out, if we look at the analysis and find out, hey, what really can I do to save the most I can? Because here's what I would say. Just like anything, anything that we feel is going to have a very good long-term value, it's going to have a cost, right? And it's not necessarily a cost to working with us. We're going to have to do some things. We may have to pay taxes a little bit earlier. We may have to reposition some of our assets so that we can do certain things, right? We may need to shift certain stocks from our traditional IRA into our taxable account or our Roth so that when they do grow, hopefully over time, we're paying the least amount of taxes on that conversion, right? There's all kinds of things that we can do, and some of them have hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars in benefits to the people that we run these things on, right? But you have to know what you want to achieve. Now, moving is not really, in my mindset, is not really the best way to save in taxes.
Right.
Is to have a written game plan and be very definitive. What do you want to accomplish? Do you want to pay the least amount of taxes this year? Or do you want to pay the least amount of taxes over the course of your life? Or do you want to pay the least amount of taxes for all of your assets to go to the next generation, right? All three of those are actually very different. And what we have found is that most people, if they do it correctly, they can typically accomplish 2 out of those 3. You just can't do all 3, right?
Yep.
You can never, I have not yet found a way to save the least amount in taxes this year and then also save the least amount in taxes in the long run, then also give all the money you can to your kids,
You got to take a little bit of a hit. It's a long game effort.
That's literally it.
Yeah.
And so when we look at those things, there are all kinds of favorable things that exist. Now, who is it best for? Right. I haven't yet to run into anyone that says, I love taxes, I want to pay more of them. Right. We all think that we should have all of this analysis done. But what we're finding is if you're a small business owner, if you have income from your business that exceeds a couple $1,000,000 of gross sales a year, or if you own investment real estate. Now, this could be your condo, right, down in Florida. This could be your lake house down at Dale Hollow, right? It could be anything. But if you own real estate outside of your primary residence, it opens up a completely different sandbox that's deeper and wider for us to play in the tax code. Okay. If you have tremendous amounts of income or you're a small business owner, it unlocks even more doors. But the point is, if you fit those situations and you have not properly done a tax mitigation analysis, guys, today is the day. Don't procrastinate any further. Just because you are not a small business owner or you don't make over $600,000 a year or you don't have extra real estate, it doesn't mean that there aren't all kinds of other ways that we can save a fortune in taxes. But it all starts with understanding your game plan, what you want to achieve, because everyone is different. Some people qualify for some tax breaks that others don't. You have to run the math to find out what is the best for you.
Let's do it. Let's get to work finding out what options will work in your savings plans, working to reduce the taxes that you might have to owe in the years ahead. RetirementSolutionRadio.com is where you can go to begin your own conversation with the team at J. Hagan Capital. We also have links posted in the show notes, so you can just click there or find us anytime. Again, RetirementSolutionRadio.com.
Thanks for listening to the Retirement Solution Podcast with Jon Hicks. Begin the conversation about your savings plan with Jon and the team at J. Hagan Capital by visiting RetirementSolutionRadio.com. Be sure to listen to Jon's radio show, The Retirement Solution, Saturdays at 8 a.m. and Sundays at 9 a.m. on News Radio 840 WHAS.
J. Hagan Capital Inc. is not licensed in all 50 states. To find out if J. Hagan Capital Inc. is licensed in your state, please call 502-690-5635. J. Hagan Capital Inc. is not affiliated with nor endorsed by the Social Security Administration or any other government agency. It does not provide legal or tax advice. Annuity guarantees rely solely on the financial strength and claims paying ability of the issuing insurance company. By contacting us, you may be provided with information about insurance and annuity products offered through Jonathan Hicks, insurance license number 548962.